Okay, my name's Cam, and I play in a band from Melbourne called Bodyjar. We've been around for a while, play punk rock. And we're doing a tour with one of our favorite bands, Gyroscope, who sort of came up at the same time as us, I guess, in the early 2000s or whatever. And they're celebrating 10 years of their album Breed Obsession. And we're celebrating 25 years of No Touch Red, which is, I guess, the album that a lot of people like to hear live. So, yeah, so we're doing this big tour in September. We're coming to Cooley and Brisbane and well, Melbourne, Sydney, Perth, Adelaide, Tassie. So, yeah, should be good.
Beautiful, Cam. Thanks for joining us today, buddy.
No worries.
I'm not sure if you're going to want to hear this or not, mate, but I sort of Googled Bodyjar just before to try and get a few facts right before we chatted. And you come up under pop music.
What's that, sorry?
Come up under pop music.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've sort of thought, fuck, I hope I got the right band, but yeah, it was definitely you.
Oh, well, that's weird. I don't know. I guess
maybe they can't spell punk properly.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I guess it's got pop elements to it. It's got melodies, you know.
Yeah,
but so does Descendants.
Lead it with pop though. No way in the world.
No, that's weird. Oh well, I guess you get as long as you're getting mentioned, I guess doesn't matter.
Dude, true. So as you said, bro, Bodyjar hit the road for a dual anniversary tour with Gyroscope, starting in Sydney on September the 1st before going through Brisbane, Gold Coast, Perth, Bunbury, Hobart, Adelaide, and finishing in Melbourne on September 16th. So not far off, mate. Are you packed and ready to go?
Not quite yet. I usually do my packing the morning that we go, which really freaks out my wife. But yeah, but we're all we're jammed up. We've been practicing. We've been like running through the old songs and making sure we've got a few, you know, a little surprises for the crowds and stuff. And some of the Melbourne shows, some of the ex-members and stuff will be getting up to do a few songs. And, you know, so I feel mentally prepared, musically prepared. And, you know, I think the rest of us, I think we're raring to go. We've been planning this for a while, and it's, you know, a lot of the shows are sold out and everything. So we're you know, we're hoping for a banger, you know.
Yeah. And of course, you were celebrating the 25th anniversary of the album No Touch Red. So you're going to be playing that in full, I believe?
Yeah, we'll do that all for full, in full, start to finish. And then we just do whatever people want to hear or whatever popular songs people want to hear, you know, Not the Same, One in a Million, you know, Surrender, all those sort of, I guess, songs people want to hear. Whatever people yell out, we'll just play it.
So is it difficult to actually do that, bro? Like when you wrote the album, I couldn't imagine you ever thought you'd be playing it front to back one day. So you would have done things that maybe were hard to play live.
Yeah, it is. It's difficult playing an album that you made 25 years ago because I don't know, you wrote songs differently back then. So you're like, why the hell do we do that bit? And how the hell are we doing, you know, why does that bit go into that bit? It's weird. So you do have to practice it. It's one of those things like people are like, oh, you can just get out there and play. But nah, it's an album that we haven't played much of. We play usually live. We play Remote Controller, You Say. So we maybe play 3 songs off that album, but now we've got to play all 12 of them. So you got to practice it. I got to sit at home. I've created a little space where I can just jam it out. Well, I've got a stereo and an amp, and I can just sit there and learn it all, you know. So it's just like relearning stuff that you actually created, which is kind of weird, but in a way, it makes you sort of realize what your band's all about. You sort of do. You sort of do get a new sort of, I guess, a new liking for where you came from, sort of thing. Or you just understand it a little bit better because you've gone back over your past a bit, if you know what I mean.
Very true.
Yeah.
That album came out in 1988, bro. So what position?
No, 1998.
1998. Sorry, I can't add up. Yeah. See, that's why they call you pop music, and they have the right.
Yeah, that might be that. Might be the other pop band you're talking about.
What position was Bodyjar in at that time, mate? And how did that album impact your career?
Well, it was the first album that sort of got any radio, and it was weird. It was our 3rd album. So our first album was produced by Bill and Stefan from Descendants, and we probably weren't ready for that. And the second album was really fast and technical, and this album, I think we found a good balance, you know. And it got a bit of radio, and we made videos for it, and you know, it really kind of set us on our path. And we toured Japan and America and a few other places with it. So it was the first album that got any real kind of success, I guess. So maybe that's why people like it so much, you know.
And it was recorded in Montreal, Canada at the Morin Heights studio. So back then, recording overseas wasn't really that big a thing as it is today. So why did you choose Canada to do that?
Because we wanted to use this guy, Jim Munro, who just produced an album called Rigged by a band called Farside. who we loved, and that they were on Revelation, which is like a really, really well-respected hardcore label from New York. And we were on that. They released the album before this one, Rimshot. So we wanted to record this album with that producer, and he was American, and I think it was easier to get him to go to Canada, where we were on tour already doing the Snow Jam tour, and to record the album at the end of that tour and get him to fly to Canada and meet us at the studio. So that just seemed like a better plan than getting all of us to America to do it at his place, you know. So, but that studio's rad. It's where Corey Haim recorded Sunglasses at Night. Corey Hart. And it's where the Police recorded Synchronicity there, and Police recorded a few albums. It's actually a really famous studio if you Google it. There's a bakery, because it's French Canada, so there's a bakery up the road called King of Pain, and pain is like bread, French for bread, and that's where Sting got the name for the Police song, King of Pain.
Oh well, there you go.
Yeah, it's cool, and you know, it's on the edge of this river. It was winter, so it was snowing. We could row this boat across the river to the studio every morning because we were staying in this little house. It was gnarly. It was our first time we'd ever experienced like world-class studio. I mean, they had people there that could get you anything. Like every day, this girl would come and go, "Guys, what do you want?" And we're like, "Oh, can you get me some weed or, you know, some buds or something?" She goes, "Really? That's all? You don't want anything else?" We're like, "Nah." She's like, "You could get anything you want, you know."
That's what we
we're
want.
like, holy shit, this is full on. No, just get us like, you know, some fruit juice and some weed, you know, that'll do.
Very easy to satisfy.
Yeah.
And I believe you also drunk out of Sting's coffee cup and played his tantric tambourine.
We paid his tambourine. Yeah, I was sitting there and his coffee cup. Yeah, there was a few like really cool objects that other bands had used in there. I mean, I think the Bee Gees recorded Saturday Night Fever there.
Oh wow!
And there was a couple little things that they left behind, and we stayed in the same place the Police stayed at. And because I was a massive at the time, and I still am, I guess, I was a big fan of the Police, so it was a big deal to me that they'd recorded there. Yeah, it was just a cool little experience, you know. It nearly didn't happen because when we got there, the first day we were loading in, Grant, the bass player, he slammed our drummer's hand in the car door. It was like a Tarago with the sliding door, and he's whacked it, and it nearly broke his hand. We thought we were fucked, like we can't record the album, but for some reason, it didn't break his hand. It was crazy. Yeah, so we got away with it then, so lucky.
Lucky indeed. So, do you remember what your actual thoughts were on the album once it was finished? Like, did you think it was going to be a groundbreaker for you?
I thought it was definitely rawer and faster because we just come off tour. We were raw, like we were playing really fast and we were tight, and it was a raw sounding album. And I thought that's probably what we need to do. Like, just keep it super raw. And we didn't finish it all. Our engineer was just doing a lot of coke, and then at the end of it, he just passed out, and we could not wake him up.
Oh, that's sad.
To finish the album. We had 2 days left, and he just slept the whole time. So we had to finish it off in Melbourne. We did the last little bit at Sing Sing, like redid some bass lines, did some overdubs, and then we sent it to Bill and Stefan from Descendants to mix it at their studio. Wow. And I remember them sending us little mixes on cassettes, like sending us a little mix, and then we had to write notes and then give them a call to change little things. And it was a different time, you know. It was before they had. I guess we didn't even really have the internet to, you know, to listen to mixes and stuff. So we just did it all, you know, by mail. So yeah, very cool.
Yeah. And what about now? What are your thoughts on it now, 25 years later?
I still dig it. I mean, obviously there's things I can't work out. There's things that I probably wouldn't do now, but I think it's got its charm. It's got some cool little songs and cool parts. Like it'll have like a verse, chorus, and a little extra bit. Doesn't probably need to be there, but it's there because we could do it. You know, it was cool. It didn't have any A&R people from the record company. No one interfered in it. We just did exactly what we wanted to do, you know? So it's really pure. I think it's cool. I dig it.
Oh, you sort of touched on this before, mate, but every classic Australian band has got that one song they have to do live. Like Screaming Jets has got Better, the Paws got More.
Oh, yeah.
Please, the Vinyls had I Touched Myself. Like, which one's yours? Would it be not the same or One in a Million?
Yeah, it's probably not the same. One in a Million and Hazy Shade of Winter.
Yeah.
You know, that seemed like the three. But we were lucky on the last album. We got this song called Surrender that we've been finishing with, and that a lot of people asked for that, which is good because it's not often you get to play your new stuff. But we got this album called New Rituals, and it's got that, and it's got Rain, which is a cover from a Dragon cover. And so we do those live, and they go down pretty good too. But yeah, we're lucky we've got a couple. I guess it's good just to have those, you know what I mean? And you just got to, you know, be grateful that you've got them, you know. So not the same. Yeah, you're probably right. It's not the same.
Oh. And do you ever do shows when you just think, fuck it, I'm not going to play it, see what the audience thinks?
No, because I hate it when bands do that. I hate it when bands, you know, go, oh, we're not going to play our big single. I was like, well, fuck off then, you know, like so many people want to hear it, and you know, it probably made you a lot of money and it made you what you are now. So you got to have a bit of respect for the audience, and I think you got to play your hits if that's what you want to call them, you know.
I remember Dave Gleason telling me once that since Better came out, they haven't done one show where they haven't played Better. That's
good.
A lot of
I
shows.
respect that, man. I respect that. Good. He knows people want to hear it, and he wants to put on a good show for them, you know. So yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, very cool. And your touring partners, guys, is it Gyroscope or Gyroscope?
Gyroscope.
Gyroscope. Celebrate 15 years of their album Breed Obsession by doing a similar thing. So what are some memories of that album?
Snakeskin and like it's a corker. I love that band. They're my favorite, probably my favorite Aussie band. So they've got a couple of really good albums. That album went gold. It's got some, when you see them play live, one of those bands where it's like every song you know, but you didn't realize you knew it. You know what I mean? So they've probably got 6 or 7 songs you go, oh fuck yeah, that's right. You know, and they just live, they're just super good live band, really good singer, like and really funny dudes. I love them, and we get along well. We did like a little run of shows with them maybe 3 months ago in New South Wales. We just did three shows. One was on a boat in Sydney Harbour, and one was in Wollongong, and one was in Newcastle, and they all went really well. I think the crowds, because we both came up at the same time, it's a similar kind of crowd. So it just works good. We're just taking it in turns. So they'll headline one night, we'll headline the next night. Oh. You know, yeah, works out good.
Oh, so that tour winds up on September 16th. What's next for Bodyjar after that?
Start doing a new album. So yeah, it's been over a year since our last one. So we've got to start, you know, rehearsing, writing songs, and you know, the usual shit. Try and get something up to scratch, you know, which takes a while.
Oh, now before I let you go, Cam, we're starting up 3 new Spotify playlists through Heavy, and we're getting the artists to select the songs. So using your own songs, give us one song that's going to get you ready to party. One song that's going to save your marriage, and one song that could potentially end your marriage.
Ah, shit. Well, not the same could definitely end your marriage.
Yeah.
Because it's basically a sour grapes. You know, you're not the person I believed in yesterday. Hope Was Leaving is a song I wrote for my then partner, is now my wife. So I would say that could be good for your relationship. Hope Was Leaving. It's off Role Model. And probably the song that wants to get you partying is Surrender off the last album. It's just got a real up sort of vibe. It's cool.
Beautiful. All right. Well, thanks for your time today, bro. The tour with Gyroscope starts on September the 1st. So you get your tickets now from all the usual outlets, mate, and we'll see you at either the Brisbane or the Gold Coast show, brother.
Awesome, mate. Thanks for having us.
My pleasure, bro. You take care.
Catch you soon. See you, mate.